Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Saturday morning, right, woke up, bit of breakfast, crumpets if you wanted to know, tuning into the Trippier interview on the Overlap with Gary Neville. And this is off the back of loads of rumours last night on social media. Just Google it, have a look on Twitter yourself. People have been saying it for a couple of weeks now about Kieran Trippier's future. I got asked about it a couple of times now, even on the live podcast. People were putting in the chat, "Oh, Matty, have you seen this about Trippier? His kids have pulled out of the school team that they're in next season. They're not in that anymore. My kid goes to the same school as him and they're not going to be at that school anymore next year. The wife's been there and pulled them out of school. The house is up for sale." Now, the house has been up for sale, apparently, and that's what's really caused it to kick on now over the weekend. Friday night, everyone's saying, yep, confirmation now, house is up for sale. I'm hearing Trippier's leaving. Now, you know my thoughts on these in the know accounts. Yeah, a lot of them are bollocks. Well, 95 to 99.5% of them are absolute bollocks. Some of them are good for other clubs, to be fair, you know. Some of the fans that I know, content creators for other clubs, they rate them, they know that they get things right. Yes, some might get some right for Newcastle, but a lot of them, they're obviously just waffling and doing it for the crack and doing it because they're bored and they want likes or whatever. I don't know, it's weird, but this one seems to have gathered a lot of momentum now and there's more evidence coming out. So it started off like with the kids and now it's the school and now it's, you know, it's just kicking on and it was the Adidas kit as well. So there was no promo of Kieran Trippier, which I find odd since he's the captain when Lascelles isn't on the pitch, that he wasn't in any of the marketing, the advertising campaigns, the poster boys. That is strange. That is normally a signal thing, especially when everyone's talking about Bruno Guimaraes' future and he's, bang, massive poster outside St James's Park, him and Joe Linton. So that part is also a bit strange, that there was nothing from Trippier with the new kit. We obviously know of the news back in January with Bayern Munich nearly buying him. £13 million bid was meant to have been accepted, and then Trippier decided not to go. Other people will say that Newcastle just weren't interested in selling him because it was January and we still had cup runs and whatnot going on. So, yeah, these things from the in the know accounts, back to that quickly, never take it seriously in a way, and I take it with a pinch of salt, even though this one for me is why I'm mentioning it, because I've literally just watched the brand new upload on the Overlap YouTube channel with Trippier, half an hour interview, and he did a quick fire questions one the other day, so I thought, you know, we'll jump on and we'll talk about Trippier's future, because it is a big one. Listen, I said he is captain when Lascelles isn't playing. He has been a vital part of our transformation since the takeover. And his future is up in the air. And he is currently on international duty in England. He'll be playing tomorrow night because Luke Shaw is probably still injured. So he's most likely to start at left back for Southgate's England against Serbia. So there's a lot to talk about in that sense. There's a lot to digest. There's a lot to get into. The reason I'm talking about the in the know stuff, because there does seem to be some evidence there. So it's not just one thing. It's about 4 or 5 things now that have built up and have kind of materialised into one for me. And I've said it all along. I said it in my Keep or Sell video a couple of weeks ago, that I would probably sell him and I could see him moving. I would have probably sold him in January and that might have been the right move because he's made some big costly errors for Newcastle this season, you know, especially at Stamford Bridge in that quarter-final of the Carabao Cup last minute and Tottenham and Everton. But I would never get on Trippier's back like that and say that I want him to go. I'm fucking absolutely sound with him if he wants to stay. If Newcastle keep him, I think that's great. You know what I mean? Because I think Tino can learn off him. That's perfect for him to do that. What better right back to learn off than Trippier? Trippier's been amazing since he came to the club. You know what I mean? Taking that wage cut from Atletico Madrid from the Champions League to be willing to play in the Championship. You know, he had no relegation clause in his contract either. Helped us out massively. The leadership on and off the pitch has been monumental. He's been one of the best signings in our history. Not just post-takeover, ever for me. Probably our best right-back ever for me. So that first year and a bit, he was outstanding, even after he broke his foot. So he's been unreal for us. But obviously at times last season, he's had off-field issues, you know, whether you believe it or not, with his misses and everything else that's going on. And has that messed with his head? It certainly looked like it because he didn't look like the same player on the pitch. He was making mistakes. He's lost his sharpness. His legs look like they are going a bit. And let's be real, he is 34 in a couple of months' time with 1 year left on his contract. So that's why I said in my Keep or Sell video, I'd probably get rid of him. If Bayern Munich or Saudi Arabian clubs going to come in for an offer of 15 million, and you've got Tino Livramento there, who's probably going to start most games now anyway, with Trippier turning 34 soon, then I don't mind losing him now. I don't mind letting him go. Because FFP, really, you know, if you didn't have PSR, you didn't have all these rules and regulations to balance the books, then you'd be like, Sam, we'll just keep Trippier. I'm not asked, we'll keep him till he's 36. Great. We'll just keep playing now and again, keep him for the training ground, the dressing room. That would be perfect. but we can't do that. And we need to strengthen the team in other areas. And I look at right back and I think, well, pretty sound there. And in terms of, obviously, Tino Livramento staying fit, Kraft's pretty reliable, even Jacob Murphy can drop back there, especially that European football now, 1 game a week. Would hope that Tino, early 20s, can stay fit and kick on in that position and develop. But back to Trippier, all these things have built up and kind of do point towards an exit for me. His interview with Gary Neville, he wasn't really asked about his future at Newcastle United. It was more so with England, and in that he said this is probably his last tournament, which is always going to be the case. He is definitely going to announce his international retirement after this tournament. He said he wouldn't do that. He said he would always make himself available, but he knows, when Reece James comes back and everyone else, even Tino, he's not going to get in this England side for much longer. And obviously Southgate is the one that really likes Trippier. He's put a lot of trust in him. So that's why he continues to get a game there. In the future, the next manager, necessarily how, hopefully not, definitely not, will not be really picking Kieran Trippier. And are you going to be at the next World Cup in 2 years' time when he's 36? I doubt it. So I think he will retire from international football. What he says he won't do, though, is retire from club football. In the quick fire questions video, he said he would happily play on into League One. He said if he had to drop down to League One, Kieran Trippier would be happy to do that. So that shows how much the bloke loves football. He says he loves the dressing room, loves the crack, loves being on the grass. So he wants to carry on. So he would happily drop down to Championship, League One. All the reports are saying, though, that he's after one last payday, which I don't know about that, mind, because players will always say this. And he said it in the Gary Neville interview this morning. It's not about the money. I took a pay cut from Madrid to come to Newcastle for my family. So this is the thing that weighs it as well. If he came here for his family, how happy is his family going to be if he jets off to Saudi Arabia? That's another thing, unless they fancy a change. Lots of other, obviously, players have took their wives out there to Saudi Arabia for the big money deals. But if it's not about money for Trippier, will he really go to Saudi? Or is it where he looks at it and think, well, I can jet off to the sunshine in Saudi and I can't make a shitload of money, and then I'll start doing my coaching, or then I'll come back to England, play in the Championship for a bit, go to America maybe. I could see him into Miami with Beckham's team. That would suit him to the bone, I think. He could do something like that, and then he could get into coaching, because he said what he wants to do is become a football coach. He wants to get into coaching and management. So he said he wanted to start at youth level and then go on to the first team. So he really fancies himself at becoming a coach. But his immediate future, could you see him going to Saudi Arabia this summer if a club came in for big money? Yeah, I still could. I don't think it would be the first move. I think if he could get that Bayern Munich switch again, he would like that. Because then look at his CV. He could finish his career in 2 years' time and say, I went to Atletico Madrid, won the league. I went to Bayern Munich. You'd normally win the league there until this year. Harry Kane curse and Xabi Alonso's Invincibles. I played in the Champions League final with Tottenham. I played in the Champions League with Newcastle. I've played in finals with England. It's not a bloody resume, is it? I don't know why I use that word, not American. So you can finish off really strongly there. Or you can stay at Newcastle for another year. Would he get a contract extension? Would he drop down like he said he would happily do to somewhere else? I don't know. I could see that move. I could see a move this summer. I really could. And like I said, I know he said it's not about the money. And I do believe him because he did take that pay cut to come to Newcastle. But when you're offered that and it's on a plate for you, if Eddie Howe's there saying, Kieran, we kind of need the money here for FFP. You're not going to play that much next season. We've got Livramento. And he's thinking, sit on the bench at Newcastle or sit in the sun and sand in Saudi for 10 times the money for a year. Ooh, tricky decision. I don't know. It's a really tough call to make. If I had to say, I think he will leave this summer. I think Kieran Trippier will be sold. Just off everything I've said, I can see it happening. I can see the club probably wanting it. It was close to happening in January. I think it'll happen this summer. I do. I just think it has to happen for financial fair play and everything else. And his age, and the 1 year left on his contract. But who knows? I mean, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if the club said he has another year. Great to have you. These youngins still want to learn off you. Tino can develop and learn everything from you. So it's a tricky one. Let us know in the comments, what do you think will happen and what would you do? Would you keep or sell Trippier? What do you think the club will do? Keep or sell? The England right back / left back. He'll be playing tomorrow night against Serbia. Quickly, because I've had loads of people asking me about this. Didn't do a video on it on, when was it, Thursday night? Because we'd already done 2 videos that day. Lloyd Kelly had just signed. And then David Ornstein from the Athletic drops this absolute bomb about Michael Olise, my #1 dream signing this summer. I've said it in videos. I love Olise. He would be my absolute dream statement signing this summer on that right wing. He would solve all our problems. The goals, the assists, the skill, the flash, the ability. Unreal. I would love it. Us and Chelsea battling for his signature, and Bayern Munich have opened talks with Olise's representatives. I'm sure you've seen it by now, but if you haven't, £60 million is his release clause. Newcastle have made a move in there for him. Listen, I would love it. Absolutely love it. Kevin Keegan style. Like I said, dream signing for me. It's going to be tough though, because if Chelsea are in for him, he's already in London at Palace. Chelsea, let's face it, they are a bigger club than us right now, in terms of obviously they've won the Champions League not so long ago, Premier Leagues, everything else, and they've got more money than us that they can spend somehow. Somehow they can keep spending money. They spent £1 billion since Bowley came in, and they can still sign everybody under the sun. So that's nice and fair, isn't it? From the Big Six cartel and FFP. So listen, they're going to offer him more money. They're off just like they do with Tosin Adebayo. They're going to offer him more money. And I can't really blame him if he chooses Chelsea. Apparently he wants Man United, is what a lot of people are saying, because he's a Man United fan. So he wants that move to Old Trafford, but Man United aren't necessarily focusing on him because of the price tag. They're maybe looking at Xerxes instead, and they're trying to sign Branthwaite at centre-back. So their new owner, Jimmy Ratcliffe, is a bit tighter than the last one, who was just spending 90 million on Anthony. But between us, Chelsea and Bayern Munich, listen, you can sell on the project. The project's there. The fan base is there. The city, the stadium. We had Champions League last year. Big push again this year. Sponsored by Adidas now. You can look lush in the kit. You know what I mean? So, in all seriousness, it's a really enticing opportunity again to come to Newcastle. It is. So, I wouldn't say we can't get it done, but you always think if Chelsea are in there, it's going to be hard. And Bayern Munich, to be fair, with Harry Kane and that there, I'm not sure if Olise strikes me as someone that would go there. I think he would probably focus on the Premier League and want to stay here. But listen, Olise would be an unbelievable move. That right wing is a must signing this summer. And obviously, the reports are that if Chelsea did land Olise, then we would take Madueke off them, the young right winger that plays for them. And he's class as well. I would have Madueke. I really would. Now, he's not quite proven it yet. He had glimpses. He had flashes this season in the Premier League where he was class, scored some screamers. Didn't get loads of game time in and out of the team. But Eddie Howe could work wonders with him. I'd be very happy with Madueke. I would. And he must be available because of Chelsea. Again, this is what really winds me up about Chelsea. How they can just sign all these players. They signed Madueke last summer, signed players on big money. And they're like, oh, well, someone else is available now. At least we'll bring in the new fancy flashy toy. We want the new updated phone. We'll get rid of him. So I'll take Madueke. If that was the case, if Chelsea managed to bag Olise, I'd have Madueke. I think it'd be a great signing for us and he could really kick on, and he does offer something on that right wing. But what I will say is it leaves for an exciting transfer window going ahead, because it shows that Newcastle United have serious intent to splash some cash. We might have got Kelly on a free, but we are having a big kitty there to spend on the right wing. If we're willing to spend 60 million on Olise, it shows we will be spending 40, 50, 60 million on the right winger this summer. So if it's not Olise, Madueke, Williams is being linked, Gibbs White, loads of them. So wait and see who it will be. Cheers, people. Hope you have a great weekend. Smash a like on this one. Subscribe to my channel TV and enjoy yourself.